What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the new Stalwart Knight 3.0 edition. This is for the CLOCKWORK City patch. Just like all my other build videos, I just want to do a quick rundown of the class description, raise, food, boon, potion, set skill, CP, combat style, and gameplay. So it's all going to be in the comment section below. If you want to fast forward to a certain section that you just want to see and get done with, feel free to do so. So obviously I'm beating down ads here. It's not really going to show you exactly how the Dragonknight plays out. Now this isn't my playstyle, I'm just speaking as a whole for Dragonknights. Dragonknights have a lot of bonuses towards dots, resistance, and healing, so you have to take advantage of that. But there's a couple of ways you could just ignore the dots, just go for front-loaded damage, because they have a very powerful ultimate. Another thing is about the Dragonknight is, if you want to do a very speedy class, they don't have any bonuses that go to Major Expedition or any sort of movement speed for that matter. They're very slow, so if you want to be fast, you gotta use a bow, you gotta use a certain set that gives you Expedition, or some sort of speed bonus. So moving right along, I'm just going to get right into the raise, food, boon, potions, and other passes that I have. So if you've seen the previous build videos, I'm obviously a wood elf. Reason being, E-freeze endurance, the stamina recovery is very helpful. People say that red guard's the best. It's kind of opinion, because, I mean, red guards do give you a lot of extra stamina. You get 10% more stamina, and you actually get the Adrenaline Rush passive, which isn't bad. It got really nerfed. That's why I would be a red guard if that stayed the same with just scaling with your max stam, but it only gives you about 730-ish stamina when you do a melee attack. So it's okay, but I think the stamina recovery is just overall better. People also have the argument saying it's not effective if you're a perma-block build. I don't perma-block, especially with this build. You're in medium. You just got to keep moving. I tap block certain abilities, so if I see an in-cap coming or if I see a dizzying swing coming my way, I'm going to just tap block it, and I should be okay. So, moving on to Wood Elf. Again, stamina recovery is very helpful. The Resist Affliction is super nice because it gives you 6% extra stamina. It gives you poison and disease mitigation. Stealthy, I mean, I guess it's cool. So here you can just see the attribute points. I have nothing into health, nothing into magicka, 64 into stam. I'm at 17k health on the shield bar, 35k stam on the shield bar, and 11k max magicka. It's a little bit lower on the 2h bar. It's at 34 max stam, 16k health, 11k max magicka. Still pretty good. It's not bad at all. For food, we're using the dubious Cameran Throne. You could go bi-stat, you could go tri-stat, it's entirely up to you. Everything works. I just believe that dubious Cameran Throne just gives you a balance of stamina recovery, max stam, and enough health, so I stick with that. If you look down here as well, we are a stage 4 vampire. It's very important. That was a huge bonus of this build in the 2nd edition. Where's vampirism? There it is. So, don't look at this, I was just messing around, but we have the Supernatural Recovery, increases your max magic and stamina recovery by 10%, Blood Ritual, Undeath, Unnatural Resistance, and Darkstalker. This actually comes in handy, more so than you think. So for Boon, we're using the Warrior. You'll see why in a moment. As for potions, I really like using the Essence of Immovability that give you health and stamina. These are extremely nice to have, because what you should be doing on a Dragonknight is filtering between your potions and your ultimate, because the ultimate in turn gives you your resources back, and of course the Essence of Immovability gives you the immunity to knockbacks and disabling effects, and as well gives you a lot of your resources. So it's good to note that you should get a rotation with these, and I'll show you briefly how to do it in the next coming gameplay video. Moving on to sets and skills, nothing, or actually a lot's changed, but it's a little bit more flexible. So for the main weapon, we're using the Asylum Battle Axe. It's the new Asylum Sanctorium weapon. It's extremely powerful. You do not need the perfected one. It's a little bit too difficult to get because hard mode is just, it's brutal. The normal one is just, it's really good. It's all you need. I actually want to go Nirnhound on this Battle Axe. Infuse is still really good, mind you. It's very powerful. The reason why we're going Battle Axe is because the additional bleed, and I just feel like since the 189 weapon damage was taken away from the Maelstrom Maul, and mind you, the Maelstrom Maul is still very, very good. I still switch up from time to time between the Asylum Battle Axe and the Nirnhound Maul. still performs extremely well. That's why I just said I'm going to retrait this to Nirnhone, because in Infused, we're losing healing. We just are. The less damage you have from tooltip weapon damage, you're going to lose healing and a little bit of damage. Because Infused, it's very strong, but it's just not the way I want the build to go. But it's still performing well. So if you can't transmutate the Infused trait, just stick with it. It's still very, very effective. So yes, a Silent Battle Axe is very good. It's very easy to get. Looks cool. Looks like a giant shovel or one of those pizza spoons. It's pretty nice. And again, if you're stuck with the Maelstrom Maul, stick with it. It's fine. And also, the crit rush damage isn't bad either, especially if you're using the Maelstrom Battle Axe, because it's just going to capitalize on the bleed damage that you get and the actual crit charge damage. So it's pretty good. I wouldn't worry too much about it. As for poisons for this, these are a must. I can't exactly tell you how I made these. I'll put it in the description below, but these are just brutal. These are really, really, really powerful. These are the double damage poisons. They're insane. As for main hand backup and offhand, we're using 2 Shackle Breaker. Okay. I did switch to an Infused Dagger to buff up the initial damage you get from the weapon damage enchantment. So we're getting 452 additional damage, so I'll show you how to do it when we reach to game style, or combat style, pardon. Then we're using a Shackle Breaker Shield. This gives us just the weapon damage bonus that we could get from the Shackle Breaker 1-piece or 2-piece. You can actually still do a good amount of damage with this. You'll see with the setup that I'm using in the bar setup, it's still pretty good as for damage on this bar. So the reason why we're going Prasmaglyph and Reinforce is because the Prasmaglyph just gives us a good balance of health, stamina, and magicka, and Reinforce, since we don't really need Sturdy, I've tried both. They're very good. If you have either one, it's fine, but I just feel like Reinforce just gives you an overall good amount of damage mitigation. There's no poison that we run here since we have to run this enchant on this bar, so don't do anything with this. Same as usual, we're running 2 Blood Spawn, both are medium. We're running the 5 Impregnable Armor. Remember, go all Divines, okay? And also, same thing, I did not get a heavy chest. I still have the heavy legs, or heavy feet, sorry. You don't want this. Go for chest if you really want to min-max this build to the best of your ability. Again, we're going all Divines, since we want to run that Warrior Mundus to give us a lot of damage. It's giving us about 355 additional damage. And for Jewelry, we are running the Agility set, same as usual. We're running 3 weapon damage glyphs, all robust. Very strong set, even though it's very, very classic. As for the bar setup, nothing's changed since last patch. Same exact thing. Front bar, we have Stampede, we have Dizzying Swing, we have Reverse Slice, Rally, Evil Hunter, then we have Take Flight. For the back bar, we have Vigor, Ransack, Volatile Armor or Spiked Armor, Shuffle, and Igneous Shield. Then for the ultimate, the Shield Wall, the only thing that's different about this ultimate now is that it has a cost increase. I believe it went from 100 to 150, so it's now more expensive than our offensive ultimate. Very quickly, I'm going to show you the buff stats in PvP. It's pretty hard to get everything on the tooltip because I can't guarantee that Blood Spawn is going to be procced, but I think this picture does have the additional weapon damage and the recovery at its max. So what I'm going to show you here is an alternative setup, which works a little bit better in groups because it's not as bursty, but it's got a ton of ult regen. Because mind you, this setup here that I have now with Evil Hunter on the bar is very, very, very bursty. You can kill people so quickly. Like I said, this new setup, it's more so for 2vx, 3vx, and beyond, because it's a lot of snaring, it's a lot of ulti gen, so you can match up ultimates with your partners or your group members. So as we see here, the setup did change very slightly. On the front bar, we are no longer using Dragon Leap or Evil Hunter. We switched it to Noxious Breath. Right here. That's then the Ardent Flame abilities. It's right here. And then we're using Dawnbreaker Smiting. Not level up all the way, I'll work on that. That is found in the Fighters Guild skill line. It's the ultimate. Go for Smiting, don't go Flawless, because Smiting, does a lot more damage, and it stuns. So the reason why we're not using Dragon Leap is because we still want to maintain the initial damage you get from placing a fighter skilled ability on the bar. That's very crucial, because in turn, it buffs our healing and it buffs our overall damage. And that's just kind of the way I liked playing it. On the back bar, we're not using Ransack anymore since we are using Noxious Breath, and that gives us Major Fracture. Not for the same amount of time, not for the same cost, but you still need Major Fracture with this build. It's very important. In turn, we replace Ransack for Heroic Slash. This gives us a lot of buffs. This snares people's movement speed by 60%. It does Minor Maim, which is extremely overpowered, and you gain Minor Heroism, granting you 1 ultimate every 1.5 seconds. Also, if you didn't already know, we are running the Maelstrom Sword and Board. This isn't the optimal trait. I would actually go for Decisive on this, because what a lot of Dragonknights are running nowadays is Werewolf Hide. If you run Decisive with Heroic Slash, it's on the dot just as good as Werewolf Hide. So you can save yourself a setup. You could just be using Decisive and Heroic Slash, and it's really, really good. In addition to that, they buff the hell out of the Maelstrom Sword and Board ability. When you deal damage with the low slash, your next fully charged heavy attack used within 5 seconds restores an additional 1900 magic and stamina. This is not golded out, mind you. It does about 2000 when it's fully golded out. It's very strong. Now, very quickly, we're going to cover CP allocation. We're going to start in the tower. We have 31 into Warlord, 9 into Sprinter. Mind you, some of these points are going to be a little bit over-invested. I don't really care, honestly. It's okay. 64 into Mooncalf, 49 into Tenacity to get that. Heavy attack, mana restoration. 56 into Tumbling. You do want a lot of the Tumbling since we're in medium armor. That's where a lot of your mitigation actually comes in. You're roll dodging all the heavy damage, and you're just recuperating right after that. 13 into Shadow Ward to reduce the cost of your blocking. And the Apprentice. 32 into Blessed. 28 into Physical Weapon Expert, 56 into Master at Arms, 26 Precise Strikes, 39 Piercing, 49 into Mighty. We have 23 into Ironclad, 12 into Medium Armor Focus, 3 into Spell Shield. These are pretty flexible. You can do whatever the hell you want with these two. Then we have 44 into Resistance to just completely cap the hell out. And then we have 44 into Resistant to just completely cap the hell out of our crit resist. Then we have 44 into Resistance to just completely top off our crit resistance. And mind you, crit resistance is at 5,600 approximately. That's when absolutely no critical bonus or anything critical will impact the initial damage you take in any way. We have 56 into Hardy, 49 into Ellie Defender, 23 into Thick Skinned. The most important thing is you get the Unchained passive. You need 120 points invested into this particular branch to get this. This is extremely important. Then lastly, we have 13 into Expert Defender and 7 into Quick Recovery.
One thing you're going to notice while I'm using the build is I'm doing a lot of heavy attacks. I don't think once in this whole fight, I think I'm fighting 2 Nightblades here, I don't land a single dizzying swing. I kill them off by just doing heavy attacks, light attacks, ransacks, and ultimates. So I did a heavy attack, crit rush there, poison's procced, try and finish him off with a reverse slice. I get a lot of ultimate back, so I'm not too worried about not killing him. Try to get some line of sight behind this tree, this boulder here. Try to avoid that in cap. This guy rolls away. I try and debuff him, get the ransack on him. He fears me, that's okay, I have a leap. I end him pretty quick with the reverse slice. Instantaneously get ultimate back, rally. Tries to res. At this point, this guy knows he's a goner because if they both can kill me, he certainly can't either. They gotta fix those sliding in caps too, that's a pain in the ass. And then I punish him with a brutal heavy attack, take flight.
That's going to be it for today's build video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions regarding the build, please comment below. I will be making a Nightblade video in the future. I'm still tweaking it a little bit, but it's turning out pretty good. Really enjoying the Nightblade playstyle, but on the other hand, videos will be coming soon. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching.